Today we're going to be taking a look at the Andycine Pro 6 external monitor. We'll go through the menu system so you can actually see what this monitor can do, and we'll also show you some of the features, so stay right there. You're going to want to see this. Okay, so here's our monitor, and it's currently hooked up to, that's a Sony a6400 right here. That's what that camera is. So basically, one of the nice things about this particular monitor is you can turn down the brightness just by scrolling. You just go down on this side of the screen. You gotta do it a few times to get all the way to the bottom. But that's how you would do it. So you just scroll. I guess that's kind of, now that I'm doing it, it's a little annoying. I wish you didn't need to do it so many times to get all the way to the top, but that's not a big deal. I like the fact that you can swipe. And then if you're swiping on the right side of the screen, you can turn down your volume. So basically, if you had a headphone plugged in here, you could turn down the volume on your headphones. So now another nice feature of this is you can just swipe up to bring up your quick functions. And you can set these to be whatever you want by double tapping. And then you can use the arrows up here or the arrows down here to just kind of scroll through. I like using the arrows on the top because it's just quicker to scroll through and change it to what I want it to be. And I had this set to zoom, so I'll leave it to zoom. But I have mine set to false colors, which here are your false colors right there. Or zoom, and you could go 4 times in, 9 times in, and 16 times in to help you get your focus. Or, let me just turn that off. You could just gesture to zoom, and then you can also slide back and forth. So that's just another option. I have my histogram on and off there. I also have my image flip. So if you flip the screen, if I was flipping the screen that way to shoot myself, you would want to flip the screen vertically and maybe even horizontally at the same time. So you could do both at the same time, or you could do one or the other. You could do a horizontal flip by itself, vertical, or horizontal and vertical. So we'll turn that off. Then you have your overexposure, which is your zebras that you can see there on the screen. You can barely see it because the shot is not really overexposed. But let's overexpose the shot on purpose so we can see our zebras. And then you can start to see them right there. Okay, let's leave it there for now. And then I have my focus assist. So that puts a little green outline around everything that's in focus. Now, if I go ahead and I double tap this screen, that brings up the settings menus. And you can see in here, you can turn on all the features on and off from here instead of using the quick menu. But I just want to show you some things here. So the focus peaking, you can actually configure a little bit because right now it's blue. But you can make that red or you can make that green. Actually, I'm gonna leave it on green. That's pretty easy to see. So let's leave it on green. And the exposure level for the zebras, you can change that too. So right now it's set to 80 IRE, but you can get in here and dial it to whatever you want. So you could do it at 75, 70, 100 if you want. And honestly, check field, I honestly don't really know. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so check field allows you to change the colors. I didn't even know what this did. Why you would use this, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's really for. But it's there for you guys who actually use it for something. So for here, in this particular menu, this is all the things you can put on the screen. So you got your 9 grid, which is pretty much your rule of thirds. You have safe frames that you could put up, so you can put little safety frames on there, depending on what type of aspect ratio you're shooting at. I'm gonna turn this off for now. There we go. You can put on a sensor marker, and it's hard to see right now because I think the sensor marker is, it's there somewhere. I can barely see it. Oh, I didn't have it on. So there it is right now. It's white, and you can actually change the color of it. It's hard to see, but you can make it red, you can make it green, blue, you can make it black, you can make it white again, like I said, and you can change the width. So you can make it really skinny, you can make it really thick, so it's easier to see. And then this says modified mark. I don't know if this moves the position of it. I'm not sure what that does, to be honest. Not sure what the modified mark does, I'm not gonna lie to you. And then you have the next menu here. And I'm not gonna show you everything in here, but you know, you have the image flip that I showed you before. You have the zoom that I showed you before. And some people might be concerned with this. You have the anamorphic in here. So like if you're shooting with anamorphic lenses, you can switch this on, and that will help you be able to see that squeezed shot, or unsqueeze the shot, so that you can actually view it on this monitor and have a sense of what you're going to be getting when you go ahead and edit your footage, if you can understand what I mean, for those who shoot anamorphic. But I don't really shoot anamorphic, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Turn it off, there we go. And in here, this is where you can change the colors that are being shown through your screen. And then the nice thing about this monitor is that you can put LUTs in here, which is, you know, LUT is a lookup table. And it already comes with some already pre-installed. So it has S-Log, it has C-Log, which is Canon, S-Log is Sony, and V-Log, which is Panasonic. You know, some of the most common cameras. So I am actually using a Sony camera right now. And the picture profile, let's get out of here. So right now I have it on PP10, which is HLG. So that's what it looks like in 10, in HLG. You can see everything is very punchy. The exposure is pretty high, but if you're shooting in log, it flattens things out on purpose. And actually, you know what? I think PP8 is S-Log 3. Let's leave it here because that's pretty flat. So now if I was to go back to that lookup table and I switch this to S-Log 3 and then I turn this on, now you see how the picture changed, and that's because it applied the LUT. So it's giving you an idea of what your video is going to look like after you add the color correction, so you're not just staring at a flat picture on the monitor. So that's already built in, and if you have a specific LUT that's not in there already, maybe you're using Blackmagic or something like that, you can install that onto the monitor in multiple different ways. But there's an SD card slot on here, and you could just install it on the SD card slot and then load it into the monitor, and then you have it. One of the cool things about the monitor, just get my focus a little bit better, is that you can actually program function buttons. So if you don't want to swipe on the screen, you could program these to be your histogram and your zebras or your peaking. Whatever your favorite two are, you could just program this to be those. And then of course you got your directional arrows to move left and right. So for instance, when I was swapping what the buttons do on the bottom, I could always scroll this way instead of trying to scroll on the screen. I'll show you that in a second. You got your up and down arrows, and then you can bring up the menu button or bring up the menu screen by just hitting menu instead of double tapping. So, and of course you got your power button on and off. But you know, just kind of cool. I'll show you that real quick. Here it is, kind of hard to turn. So now here we are looking at the screen. So if you wanted to, you could, I could just hit the menu button. Here it is, to get into the menu. And I could program those buttons to be different things. So that right here in the function. So if you hit the F, you can now change that to be what you want. All right, basically here you can see your HDMI output and input. So you have the input coming from the camera, but you can also output to another monitor. if you wanted to. So if you're shooting and you have a monitor for your camera operator, and then maybe you have a director that's sitting in the chair beside your camera operator or something, they can have their own monitor and be watching what the camera operator is doing. So that's kind of nice. And then you have your, I believe this is the input. So if you want to run power from the wall directly into the monitor to power it, you could. And this is where you could put in your MP battery. And then they have this thing here. And from the picture that I saw on Amazon, you can attach something like a wireless unit. If you were sending your video wirelessly, like a Teradek or something like that. I think that's what this thing is for. It's nothing that I actually own or use, so I have no use for it, but it's there in the future if I ever want to upgrade and I need that type of stuff. Or I'm lending this out to somebody and they need this type of stuff, at least we have it. Then there's another quarter 20 mount on the back as well. And then over here you have a cold shoe, so you can put like a microphone there or something. And here is the way you would loosen this up to take the arm off if you don't want to use that. Because you could always mount it with something else. You don't have to use the arm that they gave you. And you can see here you have your DC out and you have a headphone out. So you can plug in your headphones and listen to your audio through here, which is nice if you have a camera that doesn't have a headphone jack. Now you can monitor your audio through the monitor. And then you also have another input for a USB-C connection, so you can plug in a bigger battery through USB-C and run the monitor that way as well. So, oh, and then of course you have a quarter 20 on the bottom too. That's important as well. You could switch the way you have the arm attached, or you can put like maybe a ball head in here or something. So that's a look around the monitor. Like I said, this thing is really hard to adjust. Here we go. I always feel like I'm just going to break something. But I just want to show you something too. In here, you can actually change. I don't know why you would really care about this, but you can actually go in and, where is it here? I think it might be in here. Yeah, you can change the color of this. So it doesn't have to be gray. It could be black when there's no signal. It could be white. It could be blue. It could be red. It could be green. Just so you know, those colors are in there. You know, actually these colors, this gray screen might be good to get you get a white balance off of the gray or the white screen if you needed to with your camera. So those are in there. That might be why it's like that. I think white is actually a good one to use so you can get a white balance. So, I mean, all in all, this is a great little monitor. I mean, it's definitely going to serve my purposes. The screen is certainly bright enough. The picture is definitely sharp enough, clear enough. There's so many different things I can do with the LUTs and histograms and being able to hook up headphones, gesture on the screen to increase the brightness, the volume, to increase the size so I can get my focus. It just does a lot of different things, and it does it easily because you have the touchscreen, or you can use buttons. I like that versatility. And if you haven't already done so, please make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this, where we're reviewing camera gear and equipment and also showing you how to use it. And if you're looking for other videos about monitors, there's one on my channel that compares the Atomos Shinobi to the Filworld F6 Plus and the F5. And as always, I'm Mike Turner. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you soon.